Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jake. This channel is called Jake of All Trades, and Electric Callboy dropped a new single called Elevator Operator, and it just never ceases to amaze me the kind of weird titling or weird themes that they can put in and make work. And so I'm excited to see how they make this one work, because this is not a concept that I would have thought a metal band would do. So you know their antics. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this one. Without any further ado, let's get started. All right, without any further ado, Elevator Operator, Electric Callboy. Here we go. It's already. You heard about a man, the lift controller, the lever king. I told you, hop in and let the journey begin. Already as goofy as I was expecting. Oh no. His face. Elevator operator. I love this already. I really wanna be like him. I wanna be with him. Forget about that. Hats up in the sky, and we keep getting high. Imagine oh man. In this level that you cannot deny. We're growing high, keep shining bright. I cannot wait to get inside. Still out of sight. We wanna go up and down. The elevator operator is just like, I don't get paid enough for this. Elevator operator. In the club. You can't have Electric Callboy without a party scene. They included the elevator music. Oh, this is going to be another thing people are shouting at their concerts. Elevator operator. We're half-timing it. Oh, that was perfect. Post-credit scene. I love this. 3 weeks later. All right, so I totally planned this the entire time that I was going to release my initial reaction after they came out with the live version. Totally planned. Yeah. Anyway, so saying that to make up for the fact that I am extremely late to the party here, we're gonna do the live version and turn this into a compare and contrast. Actually, to be fully transparent, after it started taking a while for me to release the initial reaction, I'm like, What if I just wait until the live version comes out? I can do a compare and contrast, and then it doesn't look like I'm so late. But now I'm admitting all this, so it doesn't even matter. Without any further ado, let's do the live version. I love that they did some additional filming. How much of a delay did they have to get into those clothes? Good to see they're kicking balloons around. Nico is so good. Ah, that's awesome. This live version is so freaking good. Like the preemptive fireworks. Oh, that was a deviation. Kevin's not holding out the scream as long. Probably gotta save it for the rest of the show. I'm assuming they opened with this song at this show. You still hear the ping pong scream. I love this. Oh, they actually got him for the show. That's awesome. Oh my God, that was awesome. Oh, so freaking good. All right, so I went through that song a second time all the way through and then just kind of broke it down section by section, took some notes because I wanted to try and get as much out of this as I possibly could. Starting off with the intro, the hip-hop techno vibe is pretty Electric Callboy. It is spot on for them. In classic Electric Callboy fashion, the staccato-ness and the ridiculous sounding nature of that pad melody just sets it up for the humor that's to come. And then Nico is rapping at the beginning, which also again fits that hip-hop sort of vibe. And then suddenly in classic Electric Callboy fashion, it switches into Kevin's screams in the metal portion of things. Then it gets into the poppy, kind of flowy chorus. I've been enjoying the change-ups throughout the song already because it's so much packed in just a short period of time. You have this very staccato type nature of the pad melody at the beginning. Then you've got like a little bit more of the driving metal part and then a very flowy legato chorus. And it's just like, the journey it takes you on is so fun. And then, of course, you have the drop of the elevator operator, and then it drops into a heavy metal part, which I love the genre blending of this because, again, you've got the hip hop, you've got the metal, you've got more of a pop type feel, but then you've got the song structure that reminds me a little bit more of like an EDM or dubstep track, where you've got like this flowy legato type chorus that builds up into the drop, and usually the drop is like some electronic sort of thing going on, but obviously it's Electric Callboy, so they drop into a metal section. So again, I love what they've done with this. And then getting into the visual aspects so far too, their faces are super exaggerated, and if it wasn't perfectly executed, it could come off as very, very cringy. Like if I did that, actually I do that a lot in my intros and videos and stuff, and it probably comes off as very, very cringy, but these guys execute it very, very well. And then you've got the ridiculous effects of the air that's like blowing up as they're going through the elevator, which, you know, in an enclosed space doesn't make any sense, but it works. It just works. Then they stop at the room full of cats, and honestly, if I were in the music video, that's where I'm getting off because I love my kitties. So then verse 2 goes back to the ridiculousness of the intro, that funny sort of pad melody. So they didn't just drop the theme there, which is good, because with the way that the song is and with all the blending of styles that they're doing, it would be very tempting to just like forget about that theme entirely and just move on to something else, but they didn't. They brought it back, which is good. And then one thing I was noting too was when they're doing the I Want to Be Like Him melody, he's descending by like a tritone in that, or at least that's what it sounds like to me. And I have tried to do that in various melodies in a choir setting, and trying to nail that tritone interval is very, very difficult because your voice naturally wants to either lock into the perfect fourth or the perfect fifth. So trying to get it right in between there is very, very difficult. So I'm curious to see how Nico executes that live. I'm sure he can. He is an incredible vocalist. And then the actor that they got, Eicaus, I might be messing up the pronunciation of his name, so correct me, please. I just love his expressions throughout this because, you know, when they're like oohing and eyeing over him, he's just like, I am not getting paid enough for this. Then you've got the other stops on the elevator. You've got the second stop, which looks to be a brothel, and he's just like, hey, you know. Whoopsie. No. The third floor, you've got the mermaid, which I'm wondering if that's the same mermaid that the elevator operator is getting it on with a little bit later in the video. So again, the foreshadowing here is pretty fun too. The fourth floor is on fire and somehow there's no evacuation necessary, apparently. Again, the ridiculousness of the video just adds to the overall humor, and it works. Again, it works. For the second drop, you've got the facial expressions again of Kevin and Nico just being like super goofy. One of the things I was noticing though is that, you know, when Kevin starts screaming, he goes cross-eyed, and then as he's screaming, he's like, you know, flapping his tongue. And you kind of hear a little bit of a variation in his scream at the end of that. And I'm wondering if he actually, like, while he was recording, actually was flapping his tongue while he was screaming, because it kind of sounds like there's that variation in there if you were like flapping your tongue around while you're screaming. Or if it was just like a, you know, like the cut effect that a lot of producers will put into melodies. So I don't know. I'd be curious to get some insight onto that one there. So then when they start going to the club where they actually kind of throw out the party and everything, there's that symbol on the pad there, and I'm curious as to what that is supposed to mean. It seems like they have Easter eggs throughout the video, so I'm curious about that particular one. But you can also see a clear shot of the rocket, which foreshadows the part when they get launched into space, which, you know, again, was something I didn't notice the first time, but upon the second review, it's like, oh, they were setting that up the entire time. So I thought that was cool too. Then the club rave music that they have when they go onto that floor is just obviously very fitting for the scene. And then of course the elevator music was just hilarious. I mean, I don't know why I didn't think of that with the elevator music. Like, oh, they're definitely going to include elevator music. This is called Elevator Operator. And for some reason, it just kind of hit me out of nowhere. Like, how did I not see that coming? One of the things too about the rave music is that once it shifts from the club music into the more metal portion of it, it starts with a driving nature, and then it kind of halftime grooves up a little bit more. So like the drumming and the rhythm change-ups are a lot of fun with this song as well. One of the other things that I noticed was like the I forgot how the melody went already. I'll get it eventually, but the da sort of thing. They seem to be leaning into that whole getting an anthem to get the crowd engaged, because they do that with We Got the Moves, where it's da 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 da, and then the hypo, which is like da 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 da. After going to the show, like everyone's doing that in the crowd, and so it's like this is the new one that they're gonna have when they perform this live. So brilliant marketing too that they bring into this. Some other things I was noticing about the video as we're going into the ending here, they've got the scene where they're nodding their heads. Reminds me of Every Time We Touch, where in the bridge where they're building up into the heavy part, there's all these like little nods to, no pun intended, to other works that they've done. And then another thing too, just the ending, again, another Easter egg here. After they blast off into space and they're showing the little post-credit scene of them like in zero gravity, there's a random baby there. Like, what happened in that elevator and how long were you in there for? But then also the thing I noticed was that the baby had like the disco helmet from Ratatata. So again, I just love all the little connections and the things that they pack into this song and the video and everything. It's perfectly executed. And I have to say, I was a little bit concerned, because sometimes when bands lean into a certain theme, they can kind of wear things out over time, or it can get a bit repetitive, or I don't know, they can kind of wear out their welcome, I guess, for a lack of a better way to say it. But here they didn't. They're still on top of it. They're still brilliantly weaving things together, and I really, really enjoyed this song. Okay, so cutting in before I finally cap off the video with how I originally ended it here, so I can add the comparison aspect of the two versions of the song. Obviously, the big thing there was they actually got Yuka Bosa, which I think I got his name right that time, unlike I did when I first reacted to the song here. Anyway, they actually got him for the performance, and that is so cool. I love that. I wonder if this was just like a one-time thing for him, or if like they're gonna be like, or if he's gonna be kind of brought along to various shows. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine that he's gonna be like touring full-time with Electric Callboy now, but hey, you never know. They've done some pretty surprising things before. So I love that touch to the live performance. It was probably, I'm assuming this is probably the debut performance of this song, so they're probably trying to keep it as close to the original version as possible. And, as things go along, they'll probably do some new things with it, like little twists here and there. I also like how they got additional footage from Yuka Bosa for the beginning, for the start of the show, to get the crowd hyped and, to say, hey, stay safe, everybody. Like, that's a cool touch as well. I noticed they did that in Techno Train with, I don't know the lady's name, that they had in the middle of the song. In the live performance, they had her get the crowd riled up and also remind everyone to stay safe. So I see they did the same thing here, which cool touch. I love that. Some musical differences I noticed. Kevin's screams during the elevator operator part was like a lot shorter, but I understand this is probably the first song in the whole set, and he probably has to save it a bit. As long as there is a scream, it's fine. And then the other thing that I noticed too with Nico's vocals was most of the time, or I think on the second and third time when he's like, let me open the door, he actually doesn't go up, he goes down and changes the melody a little bit. Maybe it's to save those money notes for like later in the show, because he's probably thinking there are some things that I am gonna need to nail, and I can't like afford to use all of my energy on this note right now. Besides, it sounded like they have a backing track to kind of assist him as well. So, you still get that high note, but Nico live singing, he goes down, changes the melody, which was a pretty interesting aspect of this as well. But other than that, like everything else was pretty faithful to the song and the music video. Just the energy that the live performance has with the fireworks going off. And I love seeing people kick around a balloon and beach balls and stuff like in a crowd. That's always fun. Actually, one little note on the pyrotechnics that I thought was like a fun little detail. Normally, like when all the instruments come in, like the drums, the bass, the guitar, and like the screams, like it explodes into a section of the song. Then the fireworks and the fireballs come out. But here they actually did some preemptive stuff when Kevin starts screaming for the breakdown. They actually sent some fireworks off as he's like screaming into the explosion, into the breakdown, you know? So like that was kind of neat too, a little bit slight defying of your expectations with the pyrotechnics. So I'm so glad that I get to include this in the video, and I totally had this planned the whole time. I think it worked out. Otherwise I'd be doing 2 videos, one with just the initial reaction and then one with the compare and contrast. And I don't know, do I need to do 2? I've done that plenty of times and I'm not going to apologize for it, but is it necessary? When I'm as late to the party as I am, I think it makes sense just to do it all at once. So now that I'm at the point of rambling, I'm just going to cut back to the original outro. So thank you guys for checking out this video. That's all my thoughts on this. If you liked it, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications so that you don't miss anything going forward. If you have any suggestions for other songs you'd like me to check out from other bands, I've pretty much checked out Electric Callboy's full discography, so they're kind of off the request list, so sorry. But other bands you'd like me to check out, or if you want to see any guitar covers, vocal covers, or shorts that are music related, drop it in the comment. I'll give you a shout out whenever I do any of those videos. I also want to thank Jonas S. for supporting me on Patreon. I really, really appreciate it. That's it for this video. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you, and rock on.